Brighton versus Manchester United has been postponed. That's 2 games in a week, cancelled and pushed back for Manchester United as they're suffering with a large COVID outbreak at Old Trafford and at the Carrington training ground. It has emerged that United only have between 7 to 9 first-team players available who are not currently suffering or out injured. The Premier League, after issuing other statements saying that it won't be cancelling any further games or postponing any more matches, have given Manchester United and Brighton this leeway this weekend. Of course, we know that Tottenham and Leicester has been postponed this evening. There was talk earlier on today of the potential of Chelsea's game being halted. Also, after Burnley and Watford were put on hold last night as well. Is a Premier League lockdown incoming? Can you see it being a thing that they introduce very soon? Simon Jones and many others more have suggested this should happen to at least Boxing Day to save the festive fixtures. We're going to delve into this and much, much more for you over the course of this show. Make sure that like button has been smashed. You can phone in now. The link is in the live comment section. It is pinned to the live comment section. This is the Done Deal Show. Let's do it, people. Let's go. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Good afternoon. Hope you're all very, very well indeed. Hope you're all safe. Hope you're all doing good. Manchester United's game against Brighton has been postponed. This has been officially announced by Manchester United. I'm going to go through the club's official statement here. I'll get it up on the screen so you all can see it here with me. But Manchester United have said here that United can confirm that our Premier League fixture against Brighton, scheduled for Saturday the 18th of December, has been postponed and will be rescheduled in due course. The health of players and staff is our priority, given the number of players and support staff having to isolate due to COVID-19. The club had no option other than to request a match be rearranged. The Premier League board took the decision to postpone the game based on guidance from medical advisors. We also suspend football training operations at the Carrington complex for a short period to help reduce the risk of further transmission. We regret any disappointment and inconvenience caused to fans by this postponement. At the very least, United have got this done early. Brighton fans haven't travelled up, as we saw in last night's game, which was atrocious. Disappointing for Manchester United fans, but if you've got barely any of your squad available, and you're following those protocols, which is what the Premier League review, I agree the right thing to do is to postpone that game. But more and more games now are falling by the wayside. And we spoke about it earlier on today, and people don't think a lockdown could come. Don't think a break in games could happen. And maybe, just maybe, it's moving sort of more and more towards that now. But I do want your take. I do want your views. I do want your opinions. I want to know what you're thinking and you're feeling in relation to that. Simon Jordan today claiming that he thinks a break should happen. He said that football is a poster boy and needs to look like it's doing what it should. He went on to say that the Premier League and EFL should consider taking a break until Boxing Day to ease the COVID issues. And I said earlier on today, that's my one big thing. If we keep prolonging and persisting, maybe we cause a bigger problem in the long run than taking a very short break now, a circuit breaker, I think it's sort of officially called and relates to. But I do want your thoughts and I do want your feelings on this. In other news today relating to Manchester United, Kieran McKenna is set to join Ipswich Town as their brand new head coach. Kieran McKenna looking like he's going to be leaving Manchester United. He's been granted permission to speak to Ipswich Town. That conversation is going on now. That deal could happen at any moment. So some positive news for some Man United fans that wanted to see Kieran McKenna leave Manchester United. That's happened also. We were going to do transfer stories this afternoon, but I thought the cancellation of the game warranted being the headline on this show. I want to go to some of your comments coming through here. Thank you very much, by the way, Strip Bear, for your super sticker. Means a great deal to us here, and for always being a member of the channel. Thank you very, very much indeed. It's Brentford's manager's fault. Not really, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of calls for it to be suspended, and we'll see if that transpires. The game tonight, the last before the shutdown. Is that official, or is that your opinion, Brie? I haven't seen any official statements say that, but then I don't see everything. So I'd like to, if you've seen it anywhere else, please let me know. There's also, it says here that Martin Pert, Man United's first team coach, is expected to leave Man United. He's due to follow Kieran McKenna to Ipswich Town too. So it looks like there's at least 2 members of the coaching staff leaving Manchester United to join, including Kieran McKenna, going down to Ipswich, which I know a lot of Manchester United fans are going to be happy about. I know they are. My view is this with the Premier League. I don't think it can continue. My own personal thoughts on this new COVID strand and everything going on is irrelevant. What do I think the Premier League are going to do? If these cases don't dissipate quickly, they have no choice but to issue some type of break. There's nothing. They're going to be forced into doing it. Public sway and opinion is too strong. They have to be. Simon Jordan's right. Whether you like it or not, they have to be seen to be doing the right thing. And sometimes the right thing frustrates people. Sometimes the right thing annoys people. But I think that's what the Premier League is going to end up doing. And Man United, not having a fit squad, how many more teams is this going to happen to? The weekend, we didn't see this coming. Spurs had their problems. Not many other teams did. A few games have dropped since then. All it takes is 2 or 3 more clubs to be in a position. Brentford are in a problem situation. Watford, Man United, Tottenham. You only need 3 or 4 more. And then you create such a bottleneck of games. When do you get them finished? We may have to look at a whole big reshuffle of the English football calendar. Maybe some of these international friendlies put on hold as well. Let's do some of your comments here. LA Knight says, "Hi Terry, hope you are keeping well. Question: Does anyone understand or care about the Nations League International Tournament? What's your view?" That's a very random question. I don't think no one cares massively about it, is what I would say. Seems odd. Spurs played Norwich. Day later, Mad Spurs players test positive. Norwich go play Brentford. Days later, whilst there's no issues at Norwich. Look, I hear what you're saying there. I don't know what and why and how that is. But yeah, I hear where you're coming from. Any news about the Chelsea game still being on? That game is still on as far as everybody is concerned. What's that now? 3 hours away from kickoff. So, but it was only at 5:30 yesterday that the Burnley-Watford game was called off. So I would still say there's a slight chance, although it does look like it's going ahead as of now. Shutting down football makes no difference. That means... shutting down football makes no difference. LOL. That means lock the whole country down. I think you're missing the point, though, my friend. Certain businesses and people have to be seen to be doing the right thing. You just deep that for a moment and stop thinking about it on a wider scale. Certain types of people are forced into want to be seen to be doing the right thing. So the Italian captain gets his vaccines and takes a picture. Journalist straight away. That's what the England captain should be doing. Certain people, positions, organizations are held to a standard that certain members of the public want to see them adhere to. So they want to see the Premier League do something because it furthers their belief about this whole situation. That's what's going on here. I'm not saying that safety shouldn't be taken care of. I'm not saying that these things shouldn't be done. I'm simply stating that that's why the pressure is being put upon the Premier League. No one's tweeting about other sports putting circuit breakers in place because no one cares if netball continues. With respect, who's tweeting about it? Who's putting pressure on those organizations to do it? Not the general public at large. That's what's forcing this more than anything else. But I want your opinion. Do you think it should? That's what we're asking for here. The Premier League are so reactive to these situations. Yeah. And, in 3 or 4 months' time, there'll be some outbreaks and it won't be a popular public opinion to shut things down, and they won't. You know what I mean? And listen, don't be twisted. Some clubs, I've read some things today that some clubs have kind of put in like claims for games to be postponed, but they don't even have a COVID problem. They've just got a general injury problem. Like, people are chancing their arm at everything here. Good to see Terry awake to what is happening. It's not obvious. It's normal though, isn't it? When things are front and center in the Overton window, there's always more attention to it. When in a few months' time, it's not the front and center point, it won't be thought about in the same way. And we know this because if it was always about the health and safety of teams and spreading things and everything else and giving teams full squads and fairness, then Arsenal's game against Brentford would not have gone ahead, but it did. So it's an obvious thing for me, but thank you for what I think was a compliment there. Shrey's our first caller. When you come on tonight, guys, have your point ready to say, get it out and off your chests. Shrey's on the show next. What you saying, my friend? Okay, Shrey's computer clearly ain't working. It might have bugged out. I'm going to go to Ray next. What you saying, Ray?
What are you saying, Terry? How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm very, very good. What you saying?
Yeah, I'm saying, well, I think calling off games is appropriate, really, because I always look at it as, footballers as humans as well, not just guys who play football. So if everybody's breaking down, I'd rather see. I know, as you said, there are some tricks involved with injuries, but if people, genuinely have COVID problems, I'd rather see them get well, get the players fit, and then play games instead of just trying to say, oh, well, let's play games just to entertain the crowd. Because, these guys got families, these guys, I know it's a big money business, but these guys do have families to go home to. And I'd rather hear that the guys got home not sick and then come back free. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, listen, I totally get that, and I totally hear you. I think that the health and safety of the players does need to be taken into consideration. I'm just a bit skeptical because I feel like in 3 months' time, if this happens and there isn't calls nationally for lockdowns and whatnot in general, then they may not postpone games for teams with these problems, i.e. Arsenal at the beginning of the season. I'm just someone that likes fairness. So if now the precedent is player safety, that needs to be the same throughout. And we did have a call earlier that sort of says, like, but there's more of a national thing. Hopefully at some point in the future, we get to a point where it's something we learn to live with without lockdowns. But some people don't think it is. So it's going to be a real interesting case to see how they handle this moving forward. How many more games we're going to lose, when they get played. Do you think there should be a bit of a circuit breaker, though? Do you feel like the Premier League should just say, do you know what? Let's call this whole weekend's round of fixtures off. Let every club make sure it's in a good working order and then start again Boxing Day. Do you think that would be a good measure? 10 days off, circuit breaker, start again. Like, what would you do?
Well, yeah, I will do the circuit breaker. Only because, it seems fair then that, okay, everybody is not playing for 10 days. You don't have somebody playing, you don't have somebody playing now, tonight, and then somebody's not playing in the weekend. Yeah, I think a circuit breaker would be kind of look fair. So, you cast the doubt out of, oh, well, are you really calling for the COVID rate to get your players better? Or do you really genuinely want every team to have a fair advantage? Because I know what you're saying, Terry, because, if it's everyone's breaking out with, for example, Manchester United, everybody's breaking out with COVID, and our games get cancelled. Arsenal play, they're all in the top 4 because United hasn't played their game. You catch what I'm saying? So if
I do get that. I do get that.
Yeah.
And it's going to create a really kind of topsy. Again, it's one of those things when your team's got a fully fixed squad now and you haven't had the problems and you're playing, you don't want it to end, especially if you're in good form. Some of the team, like, a lot of Chelsea fans earlier today were like, no, I'd quite like a break now. They've not been on good form. They want to regroup. If you have a couple of weeks off, you get some of your actual injured players might come back. So there are some definite underlying reasons for teams to want it as well. Ray, good call, my friend. Thanks for coming on and having your say, my friend. Top man indeed.
Thanks.
Chris George here says mental health is so important. Of course, mental health is very, very important. I don't think anybody is denying that. I think all these things need to be looked at. There's no doubt about it. Shrey is now back with us. What you saying, Shrey?
Hey, Terry, can you hear me now?
Yes. What you saying, Shrey?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep, go on, mate. Speak away.
So what I wanted to say was, I keep hearing this circuit breakers.
Yep.
Hello?
Yep, keep going.
Yeah, so what I was saying was, so these circuit breakers, I keep hearing, having this one, 10-day break. There comes a point where, like, say if you have the circuit breaker, to restart on Boxing Day. Say what if someone tests positive on Boxing Day, so there comes a point where, I don't think it's going to serve the purpose that we're doing it for, in my opinion. And I personally feel, I want your take on this, Terry, but what do you think about going back to the way football initially restarted with no fans? Because I think that is also another element that I think people are not really looking at, and it can save finances. It can help financially for the clubs as well as the as well as the fans as well. The fans' health, finances, everything, will get saved in that sense. So I wanted your thoughts on that.
So no more fans at games.
Yeah, at least till we have a reduction in cases, or until more, we are like 90% vaccination, or something like that. Until we are in a state where the government can clear people to be in such large crowds. So I think that also is. I feel that is impacting.
I don't see how
players testing positive.
That doesn't impact, and that isn't going to have any impact on the players and the training grounds having their issues. So I understand from a nationalistic point of view and slowing down the spread in the country, yes. In terms of the players and the training grounds, that's about the clubs getting their protocols right and ensuring that the testing is being done in the correct way, that's stopping the spread internally. Because if there was no fans, but Man United only had 7 players available, we still can't play the games. So your initial point of having a circuit breaker,
Terry.
The only way a circuit breaker works is if after the circuit breaker you force the clubs into playing these games. Otherwise, you're right. There's no point at all. I hear you on that completely straight. Good call, my friend. Thank you very much.
Terry, I wanted to say one more thing.
Yep, go on.
I think.
Yeah, you're
so. I think the thing. See, with the players test, with the not. I think the thing is, say.
Keep going, my friend. Oh, his signal's gone again. Try calling us back. Shrey. Signal's really poor today. Red Wolf here. Yeah, I got his point. If a circuit breaker comes in, then you do have to almost, I don't want to use the word ultimatum, but then teams are going to have to play even with problems. Is the Premier League investigating if these clubs are following all the protocols? Yes. So that they investigate that the protocols have been followed before they confirm the games are allowed to be postponed. So yesterday, as an example, Burnley versus Watford applied. They checked that all the protocols had been followed. They had been followed. Therefore, the postponement was allowed. So that's almost to the point I was making there, Red Wolf. If you put a circuit breaker in place, but then you still allow postponements, what's the point? There's no point doing it. So, yeah, good points being made there by Shrey, no doubt. Ray's on the show now. What are you saying, Ray? You're on mute, my brother.
Oh, my days. Yo, what up, Terry? How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, my friend. What do you want to say about this?
Well, I think it's very sad that the FA does not care about the humanity of people. We've seen this trend up and down, corona, no corona, and they've decided to just let it ride. You know, they brought the fans back. It was very peaceful to see that. You know, brought the atmosphere back. But man, people can die. I feel like it's long overdue. We also need to put another thing on the table about all these championship games, cup games, league games. It's too much. It's too much stress. Imagine having a job, having 4 kids, and each kid wants you to have a job so they can have toys and stuff. It's not fair. I personally feel it's about time this happened. It's about time we cared about the employees of the club. It's not just the players that are liable to this. There's traveling staff. So that's my take on it. I feel like it's high time we cared about people. The money's there to be made. They have insurance. This stuff we can get paid for. You know, but we need to make sure we take care of our players. The reasons we wake up in the morning, be like, yeah, I want to watch this game. What if they don't wake up? That's my take. Good to be on, Terry. Good to be on. Good to see you.
No worries,
too, man.
Ray. Top man. Really good points being raised there. Cheers, Ray. Thank you very much, my guy. And I hear what he's saying. Like the players' welfare does need to be taken into consideration. I think sometimes we have a habit of football fans of not thinking about the players' welfare, like the pieces of meat and everything else. I definitely get him on that. There's definitely something in that, no doubt about it whatsoever. Hey, Terry. Where's that gone? That comment gone now. Terry, do you believe fans in the stadium last night were COVID-free? Stewards checking nothing. Well, I don't know. You have to ask the clubs. What are the clubs? Ask them. I can't. Do I believe they were all COVID-free? Probably not. No. Yeah. You asked me such weird questions, bro. You asked me. Do you know what I'd love you to do, Twisted Bubba? I'd love for you to give an opinion. I think I would dance. I would dance around the maypole naked if Twisted Bubba would just give us his view on something. Instead of always asking loaded questions. The man asks, honestly, it's like a gun range, the amount of loading the guy does. It's mad. Let's have a look at some more of your comments here. Their welfare. Okay, some of your comments here are so weird. I'm sorry, some of them are so strong. I don't even get them. The Premier needs a winter break anyway, so just lock off for 2.5 weeks. Start training after 10 days. Yeah, again, AJ, that works. But what if there's positives after that? What do you do? Answer that question. That's the most important question, AJ. What do you do after that point? Joshua here says Premier League needs to shut down and get protocols in place before starting up again. Again, Joshua, if you do that and then there's positives, what do you do? I want your opinion on that, my friend. So great suggestions, but what do you do at the end if there's more positive results? As Trey said, what would you do? Answer that question for me, my people. Do it behind closed doors, Terry. Yep, but what if there's more positive tested players, my friend? What would you do? All these suggestions are the first layer. I need the second layer answered, the most important layer answered, my people. What would you do, my friends? What would you do? Maria Williams says, please don't. Do you mean please don't stop football? I think that's what you mean by there. Sometimes I follow comments so hard to follow because I don't quite know what people are responding to. Maybe it's my COVID brain. I'm not quite listening. Oh, you mean dancing around the maypole naked? I get you now. Specificity, please. Specificity. So it makes sense. You're asking people to have a solution that the league and government don't have. No, I'm not asking for a solution as such. They're saying put a breaker in place for 2.5 weeks. I'm asking what they would therefore then do if there was more tests. Would you postpone more games or make teams play? It's asking for personal opinion, bro. It's just asking for personal opinion. It's like me saying, oh, what position do you think is most important to Man United? I ain't answering that. It's for Ed Woodward to say. It's about an opinion, bro. Qatar World Cup needs to be kept in mind. Maybe the clubs do take a break when they start behind closed doors. They again allow 5 subs, is what Arjan's got to say. Thank you, Andre, for the super chat. No words attached, but thank you very much for that super chat there. We'd love to make. Sorry, what does it say here? We'd love to make teams play. We can't stop it forever. It just won't work, is what Maria Williams has to say here. Are all staff and players required to be vaccinated? My understanding right now is no. There is no requirement for them to have to be, but there is talk about bringing in fines for players that are not. That is something that's on the cards that could potentially happen. That could potentially happen. I've been told to go and check a particular person's Twitter account. I'm doing that now. Let me have a little look. Yeah, I know the game's off, bro. That's what the show's about. Is that what you're referring to, or is he commented back on it, or is there a different tweet? No, that's the one. Yeah, I've already read that out, my bro, but thank you. Bads here says the Premier League is great at complicating things. It's a joke. Why can't they get their stuff together? The NFL and NHL had these protocols in place before the season begun. Do you know something about this country that annoys me? There's so many great processes in place during the first lockdown. The way my local supermarket operated, how many people it let in, the direction that you could walk down in the aisles, where you had to queue before going to the tills. It was the most order I'd ever seen in a supermarket. I actually enjoyed going. It was nice. No one in your way. It was lovely. Why'd they stop doing it? All the protocols that were in place for these, like, why stop all the protocols? I do agree. It's a madness to me. A lot of these things should have been kept in place. Young Tommy's on the line now. What are you saying, Tom? Young Tommy, you there, mate? Nope. Come in the back. You like that? I might put you on the internet. So be ready. Be ready for that. And by the way, Strip Bear, sorry, I missed your super chat. Yes, that was me that messaged you yesterday on Twitter. So I hope you are well. I just see you DM me again. Yes, that was me. I don't know who else you thought it would be, but it was me. Thank you, Enzo, for another super chat here. You haven't said anything, but really appreciate the super chat, my guy. Thank you. Thank you. There's a comment here. So I put a quote from Klopp. It says, ignore those who pretend to know, ignore lies and misinformation, listen to people who know best. If you do that, you end up wanting the vaccine and the boosters. That's the message from Jurgen Klopp. And again, Jurgen Klopp's entitled to listen. I'm one of these people. I'm about that type of speech. I think is fair. And if you're someone that agrees with Jurgen Klopp, great. I also, if somebody doesn't want to have the vaccine, I respect their right to not want to have it. I have to. I believe that's what freedom is. I agree with Jurgen Klopp. I'm just not polarized enough to start hating on people that don't agree. That's just not my way personally. But look, what Jurgen Klopp has said is true. And I listen to the medical advice and the people that know over John Smith in the pub. But not everyone thinks like that. So I hear you. Moyes' quote is the best. Yeah, didn't he refer to people not taking it as like diversity or something? Oh, I read that. I was like, wow. Mad. A very weird one. Freedom's not absolute. I think I get what you're saying there. Terry, are you hiding the golden envelope? No, it's just behind me. It's there. It's behind me there. I haven't really pushed for it hard in the last few weeks. Just thought I'd give everybody a bit of time to rethink before we start pushing for people to guess it again. What about other doctors who disagree? And that's fair. And that's absolutely fair. That's why I'm not getting into the debate. Like I've said, I respect both sides because that's just how I'm built. I just am. My personal beliefs, I just don't go around yielding them like a big stick and weapon. They're right, and everyone else is. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong, and I'm going to hate you. It's not really my way. Not on everything. On a few subject matters, yes. Terry, that blank super chat I just sent was my first ever super chat. I've been watching your show for a while. Content. Thank you very much, Andre. I appreciate that, my guy. It means a great deal to receive a compliment like that. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I think a winter break would work going forward. Twisted Bubba just gave an opinion, people. Let's give him a big round of applause. He just gave us an opinion.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, son.
Oh, it's okay, Daddy.
That the second voice there was twisted. He actually gave an opinion. I'm so happy. I think the FA will follow Bayern and start fines. They could do. Terry's top 6 show topics. Is the vaccine worth talking about? That show isn't actually on today because the games are on. That'll be next week, so that might come up. There'll be lots to talk about on the Bet Victor top 6 show. So make sure you're all tuning in next time it is on. Maguire and his sister were at my brother's primary school yesterday giving out gifts, and he had a mask on. Well, he had to have had a mask on. He must have been someone that's not he couldn't have tested positive and have been at school. He wouldn't be that stupid with it. How can I super chat? By clicking the super chat button, bro. There's literally a button you press to send super chats. Like a little, by the comment section, it's like a coin. It looks like a coin or a dollar sign or something. Just do that. But thank you. There we go. Young Tommy's here now. What are you saying, Tommy? I don't know what's going on with your system, Tommy, but it's not working. So whatever you're doing, you got to try and do it a little differently, my friend, because it ain't working today. It ain't working today, my friend. It ain't working today. Bear with me a second. Bear with me a second. We've got a big super chat come in here. Very, very generous donation that says, I am a physician and vaccination should be required. This is easy. Be an example. Be an example. Get everyone vaccinated. Thanks for show. My manager, Klopp, is correct. 98% of doctors are vaccinated. Your content is amazing. Let's get back to the football. Thank you very, very much for that very, very generous donation to the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. And as I say, like the way I kind of look at things is this, my friend. I believe what you're saying. I do respect that people have differences of opinions, though. And, you know, for some people, they just may not. I've got a friend who agrees with all the medical advice, but he just doesn't want the vaccine. But there's a part of me, okay, it's your choice to a degree. The argument is, you know, do you put people more at risk in all of this? I'm not in a position, because I don't know enough about it, to argue it in either direction. I've just always been someone that's been open to other people's opinions and interpretations and stuff like that, especially when it comes to their body. But I also understand the arguments of people wanting it to be almost mandatory as well. I get the arguments. Thank you very, very much indeed for that very, very generous donation. Thank you very much indeed. A very solid point being made there. We have a super chat here that says, do you love the darts, Terry? I don't mind watching a bit of darts, but I'm not an avid darts fan, is what I would say. But thank you. Percival Roberts is on the show next. What are you saying, bro? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That didn't seem to work there. I'm not too sure what happened. I seem to cut him off. Everyone with really poor signal today. I'm not too sure what's going on. Being able to speak to people or not. Terry, you'll be deemed anti-vax for saying that. Yeah, I do know that if I'm respective of other people's opinions, that also considers me to be called like an anti-vaxxer. So be it. Like, I'm pro-vaccine. But, you know, it is what it is. It's the way me and my dad had that right the other day. My dad was talking about why it's so important for everybody to have vaccines. And then I said, oh, Dad, but you know you're an anti-vaxxer, right? He's like, what? I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I said, are you for mandates? It means everyone has to have one. He's like, no, I don't think that's right. I said, then you're an anti-vaxxer, according to some people. Then I was showing him online why he's an anti-vaxxer, the different videos and stuff. And he's like, I'm not. He was so like, his head was so blown. He was like, how does that make sense? I'm like, Dad, welcome to 2021. He's like, but I'm vaccinated. I think everyone should have it. I went, yeah, but you're an anti-vaxxer because you don't believe in mandates. He's like, no way. I said, trust me, Dad. I said, my dad's of that generation where he sees that he doesn't see the real polarization of the world that we see through social media, because he watches the news and has an opinion, but he's not there sharing it with people every 5 minutes. He just gets on with his life, and he's like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, Dad, don't like stress about it. Like, I don't reckon he slept. I don't think he's so upset that he's considered. It made me laugh, really. But there we go. Chiesa's here. What you saying, bro?
All right, Terry, just a quick one because I'm straight out of the bath there, you know what I mean? But to me, it sounds very political, this. It seems football, either you get the vaccine or there's no football. Because at the moment, you've got a darts championship that runs up all the way to January the 3rd, I think. You've got a snooker championship going on. There's people in the crowd, some wearing masks, some not. So I think because football's the main sport, really, let's get it right. It's the main watch sport. It's the main betted on sport now. It's replaced horse racing. The money comes for the football these days for betting. I think they're making a stand. I think this is what it is. I think it's either you get the vaccine, you don't watch the football. Why can't they go back to no one in the stadium? Can you hear me, Teddy?
No, I can hear you. Look, I think not people in the stadium's cool. I think the problem here is more how do you stop stuff at the training grounds and the players from being at risk. And I do think in January they're going to reduce how many people can be in stadiums. I think that is something they may or may not look at. The question is that I'm kind of asking based on what viewers have said today. If they put all these things in place for a week, a month, whatever, and then there's more foul tests on players, do we keep postponing games, or do we get to a point where we just say play them?
It's quite tricky because look, how big is a football team? It's huge. Why not say them players can't play? They're in quarantine for 4 to 8 weeks. If anyone else sets the same policy with them, then let's crack on. But the only good thing we can take out of this, it's almost experimental now. Does England need a winter break like Italy? The only good thing if it happens, did the players get rejuvenated when they come back played? I don't know, but yeah, I think if it goes that way, let's see what happens.
I hear you, mate. Listen, top man for calling in. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you very, very much indeed. Short stream from me tonight. We're back live after the games this evening. Fingers crossed they go ahead. It'll be nice to just, be able to watch some football. We have super chats come through first, actually, from CFC fan that says, bring back the bubble, require vaccinations, fine players who break it, 2, postpone games until after Christmas. 3, if teams have outbreaks after that, they should be forced to field teams. Well, you'd think if they were in bubbles, vaccinated and follow the protocols, shouldn't be large outbreaks. Shouldn't be. But great point being made there. Everyone that has tuned into the terrace this afternoon, thank you. Do me a big favor before you leave, though. Still not enough of you doing it. I know you enjoy what we do here. Some of our content is moving across exclusively to Twitch very, very soon. So go and get yourselves signed up to a Twitch account and follow our Twitch account. The link's in the description below or pinned to the live comment section right now. Replace the call-in pin, I think. Is it changed yet? It should change. It has. Go follow our Twitch account right about now. Watch alongs coming there very, very soon indeed. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless.